everyone. My name is Shahana. I am a CODA, occupational therapist assistant, and also the rehab director at the healthcare center upstairs. Nice to see everyone here. Today our presentation will be on staying safe at home. All right.
You should be closer to the mic.
Am I? Okay, I'll try to speak up a little bit more. Can you hear me now? Can I get a good thumbs up? All right. So what you will learn today is we want to be able to identify common hazards in the home. We'll also talk a bit about providing solutions to mitigate identified hazards. And we'll understand the importance of creating an injury response plan. Does anyone here have an injury response plan? All right, well, that's what we're going to talk about today. And we want to be able to state 2 strategies for calling for help. All right. Who recognizes this? So we all know the story of Dorothy's adventure in The Wizard of Oz. After being knocked unconscious in a tornado, she dreams of her house is swept away by the tornado to the land of Oz. While there, she meets some new companions and encounters a world of munchkins and escapes the terror of the wicked witch of the West. During all these adventures, she is focused on one goal. She wants to be able to get back home. While we know that she is primarily concerned about Aunt Em, who she believes is ill, we all know there is no place like home. And it is a good place to be. We all say it, and we have said it in the professional worlds, the blue-collar worker who's finished a 12-hour shift, or even the family who just arrived home from a relaxing and adventurous vacation. After walking through the door and putting the luggage on a lunch pail, a deep stress of relieving sigh. It's a good to be home. There's no place like home. There is just something about the comfort of our home that calms us. Why is that? Well, we all have a meaning of home. Each individual will describe it differently. Physically, a home is a place where one lives, where a family could be an apartment, a house. It's a place where it provides us shelter, security, and safety. For some of us, it's a place of spiritual, a place where you feel you belong. It's also in a place emotional. It's who we are, how we identify ourselves. We have memories and emotional experiences and attachments to that. For some, it's how we understand how we fit into the world. However it is described for a vast majority of people, home is where they find solace, peace, and stability. Within that, we want to be able to talk about how to prevent injuries within the home. In 2022, there's a study that indicated that 36 million preventable injuries occurred in the home. That number is great. Within that, 128,800 were preventable injury-related deaths. That number is equivalent to the total number of injuries occurring in public workplaces and motor vehicle accidents combined. It's a fairly large number. To give you a little bit more understanding, here's a graph. Is everyone able to see that? So with that, there's 24% of it was related to falls within the home. This is significant for adults that are 65 and older, as falls are the leading cause of preventable injury, as well as related deaths in the home and the community. which begs the question, how can home be unsafe? If the home creates such a positive, emotional, spiritual connotation, how can it be that the individual can be susceptible to injury within the home? Well, part of that lies, there we go. Due to aging, there's changes in visual acuity, which makes it harder to see and recognize different objects, as well as obstacles within the immediate surroundings. Many people experiences changes and difficulties with depth perception. This can make walking more challenging, as well as navigating stairs, as well as simple tasks such as reaching in cupboards. Well, not part of normal aging, we develop conditions such as cataracts, glaucoma, that are compound for changes for the acuity and depth perception, which makes it a unique challenge within itself. Within that, there are also changes in decrease in strength, as well as power associated with aging. As you can see for this person here, it makes it harder to navigate and problem solve for routine tasks that we go about in our home, to make it a little bit more challenging and risky. However, there's good news, because within that, there are changes that we can be modifiable and manageable within our home. We can make accommodations within our environment as well as in our home with home modifications as necessary. And we can make simple preventable strategies used to lessen the risk of injury in the home. For example, within CDC STEADY program, we want to be able to stop elderly accidents, death, and injury. They're recommending we perform a home safety hazard assessment as part of a plan to remove and limit modifiable fall risk factors. Within that, we can refer to occupational therapists to evaluate your home for safety. Within the CDC, they also are recommending and providing a checklist to identify potential hazards within your home. So it's a room-by-room checklist that provides a systematic approach to identify some of the more common hazards in a home. For example, stairs and steps. Are there papers, shoes, books, or other objects around the stairs? In the kitchen, for example, are there things that you use often on higher shelves? Are we able to move items into cabinets that are on a lower shelf instead? Is your step stool unsteady? Can you use the step stool to get, or use a bar to hold on to make it more secure? You never want to use a chair for a step stool. Bathrooms, that's one of the bigger ones. Is the tub or shower floor slippery? You want to be able to put a non-slip rubber mat, self-stick strips to kind of prevent it from moving in place. And then the National Council of Aging has a similar resource of a room-by-room checklist as well. We want to be able to note potential safety hazards and modifications we can make in the home. Sorry, I know some of you are taking notes. Let me know if I'm going too fast. So let's explore together We want to be able to identify hazards that are unique to the different rooms in the living areas. Room by room, we will have a discussion about the common hazards and solutions. Bathrooms. Who can tell me how a bathroom could potentially be unsafe? Yes. Anyone else? Yes, that is one as well. So within the bathroom, we have a chance of a slippery floor when getting in and out of the tub and the shower. No, okay. The act of stepping in and out of the tub or shower can be tricky. On occasion, there sometimes is the little lip that's on there. Without the addition of a wet floor due to a high side of a tub or even the elevated nature of the shower. Transferring on and off of the toilet can also be challenging. Parts of this is we want to be able to improve overall safety, so doing so, there we go. We want to be able to think about adding grab bars. We have seen them. We have all seen them. Grab bars are a useful device that can be used to steady oneself or assist with transferring. These can be installed in and around the shower and tub to make it safer to transfer in and out. As well as using the grab bar, you can steady oneself if you're standing. And then the shower bench or transfer also can be used to be able to sit down and take a rest break. Especially if you're feeling a little unsafe or unsteady while standing within the shower. You have an area that you can sit and use the grab bar for overall stability. So who here said throw rugs? Throw rugs, they are a risk for falls. They can get caught on our walkers, sometimes within the wheelchairs as well. So having a non-skid grip can allow it to be steady in place. And then automatic lights or motion lights. Has anyone thought of those? We typically get up in the middle of the night, and being able to have an automatic light source can illuminate where we need to go, and it will turn off after there's no motion. Another option is a walk-in tub. I know there's probably no tubs here, but that is a potential option as well. All right. So the bedroom. The bedroom is a place where people spend a lot of time. However, it is a place where we go when it is dark sometimes and the room is not well lit. This should make the bedroom a focus for improving safety. After all, most of us have woken up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, and it's not easy when you're drowsy, you're tired, perhaps in a bit of a hurry. And the darkness complicates matters. So what can we do? Simple modifications can be made within the bedroom, such as a night light. This will help illuminate the room so we can safely navigate to the light switch. Some night lights have motion detectors if you prefer the light not to be continuously. Installing a lamp or a bedside table will allow accessible access is a better option that allows you to easily turn on the light before you get out of bed. In an emergent situation, making a phone call for help needs to be timely. Placing a mobile phone on a charger on the bedside table ensures easy and timely access for outside help. To ensure that the charger works properly, and an outlet needs to be readily available. Now, the kitchen. The kitchen can be a busy place with lots of obstacles and hazards, just like the bathroom. But unlike the bathroom, through the kitchen offers difficulties with the cupboards that can be high and deep, requiring a little extra effort to reach for the glass or a dish. This may make it difficult for someone with shoulder pain or someone with balance problems, visual difficulties, and or someone who tires quickly. We want to ensure that you can easily access your pots and pans and dishes that are accessible for you, whether you're at a wheelchair or a walker level, or if you don't have any assisted device at a counter height. This may include storing in a drawer near or below the waist level. Some solutions can include storing dishware, pots and pans on a shelf at a height that is easily accessible. Supplies, we want to make sure that we have access to cleaning up if we had a spill. Supplies should be kept at a level that's easily accessible and neatly organized. Not only does this allow for easy access, but it allows for a timely cleanup after the spill or a mess. Hallways and floors. I usually think of a hallway as a dark hallway. Hallways are not typically well lit. There are no windows. A light from the adjacent rooms doesn't always make its way into the hall. For those reasons, hallways can be really tricky to navigate, especially during the early mornings, hours, and the late evenings. Having light switches on the wall near the entryway of the hallway is important. We could plug in motion lights that could hold some value in the hallway and is a short for instead of switches, sorry. It is also important to maintain your floors free of clutter and other hazards. We want to remove and prevent the buildup of clutter on the floors, to be able to properly store papers, books, cords, clothes, shoes, boxes. You want to check the carpet. Does it need to be tacked down? One of the same reasons for the throw rugs. Carpets, if they're not completely tacked down, could cause a fall. Certain patterns of carpet and rugs and other flooring materials can also cause problems and give an individual the illusion or feeling that the floor is uneven. If you have throw rugs and area rugs, make sure to use the grip tape, non-slip strips to keep them in place. Check to make sure the ends of the rugs are not curling up. Sometimes if we're walking continuously with a walker, that might just kind of come up. And so making sure that's tacked down is going to be important and prevent a fall. We want to avoid walking on newly washed or waxed floors. So what other home considerations can we do? Can anyone, while I was doing this presentation, kind of think of their own home and what could be modified and thought of? So, furniture, you want to keep out of the walkways and make sure that you have an easy access for your path. Items of routine should be kept at waist level and within reach. For those that have a pet, do we always know where your pet is around you? We want to be able to know where they are before getting up, so we're aware. Stairs, adding grip tape or non-slip tread mats, lightened handrails, and lights under each stair motion detected. I think within this facility, there's the elevator, though, right? All right. So, how can we develop a plan? Despite all the best efforts focus on prevention, unfortunately, people still have injuries and experience falls. These facts need to develop a plan and having the ability to execute when needed. How an individual responds during an injury or fall can have a significant impact on the outcomes in terms of severity. So what are some strategies? You can always keep your phone on you, but the phone is no good if it's not sufficiently charged, so making sure that that's being charged. You can keep your phone in a fanny pack or a sling bag, a basket on a walker. We want to be able to also program emergency contacts within our phone. Inform these individuals that they are your emergency contact, and someone, whether it's you, the EMS, or the hospital, will be contacting them in the event of a fall, just letting them know that that's your person, that's who you'll be in contact with. Your emergency contact may be needed to let EMS into your home as well. Nowadays, does anyone have a smartwatch? Heard of a smartwatch? Or Alexa? Certain voice-activated technologies that we have nowadays can detect certain injuries from potentially happening, or if they did happen, they can call for emergency as well. We can use smart speakers and watches. If you don't have a phone, watches and speakers can be voice activated and used to call 911 in emergency contact or your emergency contact. Oops. An additional advantage with smartwatches is that they can detect falls and alert 911 in case the individual is unconscious or unable to move. So what did we learn? Putting it all together. And the next couple of slides, if we can maybe point out, and I'll do it as well, certain hazards within the home or what we can add in addition to make it a safe environment. Can anyone point out anything? Yeah. Anything else? How about the cord along the wall? That could potentially cause a tripping hazard. Yeah. The dresser. Yeah. Yes. So that's a big one. If you're getting up in the middle of the night and that light is all the way over there, you're going to have to get up out of bed and turn on the light from there, and rather than having it a little closer to you so then you can see where you're going. So we're not tripping over the books or the cords. The items at the foot of the bed can make making the bed a little harder as well. You want to think about, is there a better storage location within the home that we can store certain items like these? Some of the things we also could look at is the bed too low? We can elevate it with a thicker box spring or mattress. And then on this one, where would we put our phone? There's no place for a phone. You might have to put it on the floor and then having to find it because there's no light and trying to get to the light. And so having a nightstand can make a big difference on where the phone could be, where the lamp could go. All right, how about this one? There's a lot going on. Can we identify any hazards within this living room to make it a safe so we can modify it just slightly? Yeah, it is a dim light. It's a dark room. We can improve the lighting and add lamps, change the ceiling lighting to different bulbs. We can maybe even change certain curtains or a lighter color. What else? Any? The red stool? Yeah, it's a bit cluttered. It's too much furniture. So we can remove certain furniture to widen our walking paths. Another thing that's kind of harder to see, but there's a rug on the floor. Is it secure? Are the edges gonna be rolled up? All right. So using what we have discussed and what you've learned to identify hazards in the bathroom, recommended a home safe modification. We learned about the rolled mat, throw rugs, unsafe towel. We want to use non-skid mats and rugs. We can replace if edges are curling up. We want to be careful when getting in and out of the shower to prevent the water from going on the floor for a slippery surface. We look at curtains. Are curtains too long? Is it a tripping hazard? Can our walkers or something get caught, our foot get caught on that to prevent a fall? We could also replace doors or shower curtains to make it easily accessible for us. Sometimes if there's no grab bars next to the toilet, that could be something to add in addition. Within the shower also are soaps and razors, shower cream on the side of the tub or in your shower. Could we find a better location for those to make it safer and organize that within like a shower caddy? So what could we do to also increase strength and resources to make these modifications? Well, there's physical therapy, there's occupational therapy, personal fitness training, as well as wellness classes. Yes?
What would you do as an occupational therapist to help a resident in their environment?
Sure. So in my previous workings with clientele, if I were to go into a client's house, I would ensure that there's no clutter around the floor. Or if they're using a walker, I'm indicating that this could potentially be a risk and making it known that that could be a risk so we can problem solve together to get those items out of the way. If they're cooking within their home, are there pots and pans way down low that it's hurting their back to get those items as well? And if it's hurting, that could be an indication that maybe we should find a new place for those pots and pans that we commonly use. So we'll talk about and problem solve how we can, where these new pots and pans could go. Within occupational therapy, we'll look at how you're getting in and off the toilet or going to the shower. Is it safe? And are you standing long periods of time to perform your shower task? Or maybe you're getting a little fatigued that we might indicate having a shower chair might be beneficial for you. Physical therapy will be working more on stamina, endurance, strengthening the lower extremities as well as the trunk. And if you're using your walker and resources, how you're getting around your area. Are you being aware of certain hazards that are in there, and how can we point those things out so in the future you are aware of those. Yes.
I would just like to encourage you to mention wearing your Sarah button here. As someone who has fallen, the Sarah button is a wonderful resource that we have.
That's great. Yes, I would definitely. It's kind of like what we talk about within like the life alerts. I think that's the same systems that are being in place here. So that's great.
And so I would add to that, do you all know where it is? No, I mean, that's what I find with independent living. Sometimes you threw it in a drawer when you moved in, and now you don't even know where it is. And if you fall, is it somewhere where you can access it? So I always recommend keeping it somewhere a little lower, because if you're on the floor and you have to crawl, you can get to it.
When I'm in the building, or even particularly when I go to Green Lake,
Sorry.
I wear a whistle.
Oh.
Because the Sarah button doesn't work at the Green Lake. So I just wear a whistle so that I can bring attention to myself if I think I'm worried about somebody grabbing something from me, or if I trip and I need help.
Sure.
Because everybody's got their plugged up with their phone. So, or even if I just go to the bistro, I wear my whistle. Because I don't think the Sarah button works if you do a bistro.
It might lose a little connection service. So that's a great modification that you've already pre-planned.
I have, to go out the door, I have my room key and the whistle and my bellboat hanging right on the door, because memory is another big factor in all of this. And I get distracted and forget, so that reminds me to take it with me.
Before you leave every day. Yeah.
And I was just going to pitch in a few things, if
Sure.
you don't mind. So, let's see. I'm not good at standing in place. So one thing that she talked about was, getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. How many of you get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom? How many of you have night lights? Awesome. They're in the rooms. That is fabulous. And if you don't like the nightlight, the motion detected ones that she mentioned would be great, because then it wouldn't be something lit up all the time. She talked about the grab bars. So I touched base with Reggie, and if you are interested in getting a grab bar, you can reach out to Tim Alton, the Environmental Services Director. They would first need to look and make sure where you want it, that it could be installed, and then they would need to order the length and diameter that you would need. But he would be your contact for that. And then Hearthstone would charge you for the cost of the bar and the labor to install. I double-checked that with Reggie. Has anybody ever used their towel rack as a handrail? Don't do that if you ever have. If you have, get a grab bar installed. That towel rack, that shower caddy, that shower head is not meant to be a grab bar at all. Bedroom. How many of you have a bedspread that goes to the floor? Yeah, you may rethink that. Prior job I worked at, somebody fell and had a bad fall because at the foot of the bed, the corner that then reaches all the way down to the floor, she was walking around her bed, and that was enough to get caught up in her legs to cause a fall. I heard somebody give it an affirmation. Walking in your socks on linoleum floors is another big no-no. So having slippers that have a grippy surface on the bottom, or socks that are tacky, grippy on the bottom, but you don't want to be sliding across your floor, right? So everybody stand up for a second before I turn this back over to Shahana. Okay, so think of one thing that you learned or that you can share with somebody else. Maybe you knew all this and it was just a refresher, but you can then share some information to one of your friends. Think about that. And also what I want you to do is when you go home, approach your home a little bit different based on what Shahana shared with you today. Is there just one thing that you can change in your home environment to make it a little bit safer? You know, and that's where it starts. It's just that one rug that you continually catch your toe on. You know, a hip replacement's going to cost you $50,000 plus. You don't want to go down that road, right? Okay, you can sit down. You just think better when you stand up. Here, you can finish off.
Yeah, so I just hope that today you learn certain strategies that you can modify within your home environment. And if you have any questions and just kind of pondering, you have resources here that you can go to and we can talk about it a little bit more. Thank you everyone for your time.
Where do they find you if they have questions?
I will be on the second floor in skilled nursing. Thank you everyone for your time. Thanks for coming. Have a good day.